you win a Super Bowl your first year as a starter. You spoil them.
Yeah, maybe I spoiled myself a little bit. I don't think it's really set in yet. I mean, even when you look at the Super Bowl ring or last
There's no
season,
time.
There's no time, exactly, because you're on to the next thing.
The next big thing for the Patriots is to get their running game going again and to improve a defense that's had problems stopping teams in the red zone.
I mean, right now, we're 500, so, I mean, that's average. Deep down in all our hearts, we know that we're a better team than what we're displaying right now.
You look around the NFL, everyone's kind of all jumbled up and packed up in one bunch.
Being 5-5, I mean, right in the middle of the pack, that's not the place where we really envision ourselves being.
The Pats are now the pride of Beantown. Brady's success ratio wearing a throwing glove versus when he doesn't is no doubt being debated in Harvard Yard.
Now you're hearing things, well, his hands are too small. It's the glove. Well, no, what is the glove thing? Please tell me this is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I won a Super Bowl not wearing a glove.
Put your hand up here. Look at that. His hand's fine. Now, I never threw the ball, but his hand's fine. Where do we go now? Where do we go? Did the group become too one-dimensional in the first part of the year and lose its identity as a physical running team?
I don't necessarily think so. Some of these games we have been very balanced. When you're down 3 touchdowns, I mean, you're forced to throw it. Yeah. You got to go back to what makes us a good team. And that's being a smart, tough, disciplined team. And, that's what we are trying to get back to, especially when you get in these cold months. Like now, I mean, you got to run the ball well, and you got to take advantage of your opportunities.
You miss a couple of throws last week. How long does that stick in your head?
I look at last week's game, I say, if I hit that post to Dion, it's a different game. I think about that quite a bit. Not that it lingers, because, I think that if I get a guy open again this week, I'm going to hit him.
The Patriots have not let post-Super Bowl fame distract them from their mission. The schedule favors New England down the stretch, so even though they are 5-5, they know from experience how this season might still play out.
Not that our 5-5 is any better than any other team's 5-5, because 5-5 is very average, and that's where we're at. But hopefully those losses, we've learned from them, and we can really build on these last 6 weeks of the season. So, if you play well at the end of the year and you make the playoffs, you're very well prepared to move forward.
Well, even more so than last year, this thing is still wide open, in particular in their division. They have their 3 remaining division opponents come to New England. They play Minnesota this week, then they play Detroit. Tennessee's a tough game for them on the road, but really it's anybody's division right now. And the New England Patriots are a young team that really find themselves just pressing. When things go bad, people press too much, and Tom Brady's been guilty of that early, and he knows that.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult division. Nobody's got a losing record in the division, and for that reason, they beat up each other, their records get beat up, and the second-place team will probably not make the playoffs. There's one less wild card this year.
Yeah, listen, this team won the Super Bowl last year with not the most talent. Get used to it. They won it. Congratulations to them. They're 5-5 this year. Don't forget last year, Howie, they scored the fewest points in NFL history in the playoffs, scoring just 26 points. And so I'm not surprised they're struggling again. And I won't be surprised if they win it again, but I am surprised about one thing. Give me your hand. You did this with the left hand, right? How about his right hand when you looked at his right hand?
They were pretty much the same. I might be the deputy of Stupidville, but I think his right hand is close to his left hand.
Do you know many people whose right hand is much bigger than their left hand?
My wife Rhonda, from playing tennis, her hand's bigger on one side.
Get out of here. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
right now, it's the sounds of the game, big hand or not, before the game, and then we'll be back with some final thoughts on hands and other things,
My wife.
Ooh, they got some monsters coming out here, dog. They got some big Super Bowl champion monsters coming out here, decorated in that blue and gray.
All that matters is right here, right now, baby. That's all that matters. Right here, right now, today, baby.
Focus and concentration, man.
Hey, focus and dominate
I'm bringing it to the East Coast. We're going to bring it to the East Coast.
Fox Sports welcomes you to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Sunny and 45 degrees as the New England Patriots get set to host the Minnesota Vikings. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Kenny Albert with Tim Green. The defending Super Bowl champion Patriots have a record of 5-5. Last year at this time, Tim, they were also 5-5 and ran the table.
Yeah, and I know 5-5 is average. But one thing the Patriots have this year that they didn't have last year is a more potent offense. They're scoring more points, and I think the reason is because Brady's got more receivers out in the field, more viable threats. They're using the tight end more, and Brady's efficiency has been spectacular. Despite the fact that he missed some deep balls last week against the Oakland Raiders in their loss, Brady is still tied for the lead in the league with 21 touchdown passes. I think the key for the Patriots down this stretch is going to be protecting Brady, and their offensive line has struggled, and today it's going to be a real test against this Vikings defense that last week in the Vikings upset win over Green Bay, that defensive front unraveled Brett Favre.
Vikings with a 10-point victory last Sunday over the previously 8-1 Green Bay Packers. Offensively, Minnesota with the top rushing offense in the NFL, led by the second-year back Michael Bennett, 4 consecutive 100-yard games.
And the key with Michael Bennett is speed and confidence. He told us that last season as a rookie, he was running scared. Now he's reading offenses, or he's reading his defenses, and when he gets to that second level, his speed is world-class. And then you've got Dante Culpepper, and everyone knows about his strong arm and the threat throwing the ball downfield to Randy Moss. The Patriots may have to worry today more about his legs, though, because watch for Culpepper to run a lot of quarterback draws, run some bootlegs against the Patriots defense that has struggled against the run.
And Tim, remember, to answer today's Sprint virtual coach question, which NFL team will be hurt most by their quarterback change? You can vote now using PCS Vision from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. The New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings coming up on Fox.
Must win. That's it. Win. Now get out of here. Let's go. 5, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's work, my nigga.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Back in Foxborough, Kenny Albert with Tim Green. The Minnesota Vikings have won the toss. Bill Belichick's Patriots, record of 5-5, won their first 3 games, then lost 4 in a row. Mike Tice's Vikings lost their first 4 and have gone 3-3 since. Vikings have lost 15 consecutive on the road. Super Bowl hero Adam Vinatieri getting set to kick off, but the ball has blown off the tee. Heavy winds here in Foxborough. So Victor Green will hold it for Vinatieri. Nick Davis has had his problems hanging on to the football on kick returns, so Mo Williams is back deep along with James Wofford. And we are underway here in Foxborough. Mo Williams brings it out for the Vikings from the 2-yard line. Out to the 24. 22-yard return by Williams. Dante Culpepper leads the 3rd-ranked Vikings offense onto the field. Culpepper 4th in the NFC in passing yards, has also thrown a league-leading 16 interceptions.
Mike Tice told us that Culpepper had his best week of practice this week, and that being benched a couple games ago and replaced by Todd Bowman was good for Culpepper. It got his mind focused on the game.
Vikings start from their own 24-yard line. Here's Bennett, the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Gains 4. Teddy Bruschi made the tackle, setting up 2nd and 6. Up front for the Vikings, Bryant McKinney, their first-round draft pick, held out 98 days, makes his 3rd consecutive start since signing. Randy Moss, Dwayne Bates, the wideouts, Bennett with the fullback, Klein Saucer, and the tight end is Byron Chamberlain. 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. And they keep it on the ground with Bennett, and he is forced back. Ted Johnson On the tackle for the Patriots.
Kenny, the Vikings wanted to run at this Patriots defense, and part of that is Brian McKinney, their first-round pick, being in a two-point stance. They felt that he's too slow out of his three-point stance. He's 6'8", over 350 pounds, so he's slow out of anything, but he's going to be in a two-point stance today, whether it's a pass or a run.
3rd down and 4, 3 wide receivers set. Mo Williams, the lone back. Culpepper over the middle. Randy Moss. Moss picks up the first down and more. Out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Gain of 17 on the play. Patriots have struggled defensively on 3rd down, and they give up a big play. The front 4. Bruschi with Pfeiffer and Vrabel, Patriots linebackers. In the secondary, Victor Green starting for the inactive Tabucky Jones, out with a leg injury today. First and 10 Vikings from their own 47. Moss comes in motion to the near side. Culpepper with time. Good coverage downfield. And Culpepper out of bounds in Patriots territory after a gain of 6.
Well, Dante Culpepper wanted to throw to Randy Moss, but the Patriots today are going to make sure that Moss always has someone pressing him. There's Ty Law. He's right on him. And you see Law has him covered up totally. There's a safety over the top. And then we saw Culpepper doing what I said he was going to do just a few moments ago, and that is run the ball against this Patriots defense that has struggled stopping the run.
2 seasons ago in Culpepper's only previous game against New England, he rushed for 59 yards. 2nd and 4. Bennett gains just 1. Victor Green along with Richard Seymour brought him down.
Yeah, Richard Seymour does a great job. He comes up, watch him, he's going to bust right up through here. The Vikings get on him. Burke is on him, but he swims through it and gets the penetration. And I think that's how the Patriots are going to have to stop this run game. Vikings very big, very physical up front on the offensive line. Patriots defensive front, smaller, quicker. They need to penetrate to stop the run.
3rd down and 3. Vikings have to get to the 43-yard line for a first down. Penalty markers on 3rd and 3.
I think Culpepper got Seymour with a hard count.
Jerry Austin, our referee this afternoon. Culpepper signals that it's against the Patriots.
Encroachment on the nose guard. 5 yards, first down.
Well, Mike Tice talked about Culpepper being better after his benching. Kenny, you know what I think it is? Dante Culpepper is one of the nicest guys, and I think in a way he almost might have been too nice. And I think benching him kind of gave him a little bit of nastiness. You could see it in his eye. I think it angered him, and I think that anger was probably a good thing for him.
Yeah, Tice told us Dante's had a different focus since the benching. He settled down. Had a good game against Green Bay last Sunday. So an automatic first down following the penalty as Bennett works his way down to the 36, a gain of 5.
Yeah, and that time you could see there was no penetration by the Patriots defense. And if they're going to go toe-to-toe with the Vikings offensive line, the Vikings offensive line is going to win. I mean, you know, look at David Dixon right there. I mean, he is just an enormous man. And you've got McKinney, who's enormous. I mean, they are just huge up front. So the Pats are going to have to penetrate to stop that run.
Now 2nd and 5 from the 36. Culpepper faked the pitch. And the pass is caught for a first down by the tight end, Byron Chamberlain, at the Patriots' 15-yard line. A gain of 21.
Well, excellent protection by the Vikings, and it's not just the offensive line, Kenny. I want you to watch Michael Bennett up here at the top. Watch him with the blitz pickup right there on Lawyer Malloy, and that's what gives Culpepper the time to find this route right down deep here, and it's a very well-thrown ball by Dante Culpepper. Culpepper runs hot and cold. Right now, he's hot.
Vikings scored on their first 2 drives last week against the Packers. From the Patriots 15, Bennett up the middle, down to the 10. Bennett gains 5 more.
Right now, the Vikings are just running it right down the Patriots' throat. They have only stopped the run play on the one play where we saw Seymour get some penetration and get to the other side of the line of scrimmage. And that's the difference in Michael Bennett right now than he was last year. Is he's patient, he's reading the holes that his offensive linemen are giving him, and if he gets to the second level, look out. He's tough to stop.
5 carries, 17 yards on this drive for Bennett. 3 receivers set. Culpepper under pressure, and he throws it away. Teddy Bruschi was in his face on a late flag.
Yeah, that's going to be intentional grounding against Dante Culpepper because he was still inside the tackle-to-tackle pocket, and there was no receiver anywhere in sight. Now, had he been throwing a screen and he gunned it into the turf, then it would have been okay. Here's the pocket right there. He never gets outside of it.
Number 11 on the offense. At the spot of the foul, since it's more than 10 yards. Loss of down.
Yeah, here's the pocket, and again, he stays in the pocket. And where he throws the ball over here, there's no one even close. The new rule this year, of course, Kenny, we've seen it a lot. If it's a screen pass and you've got the screen receiver there and you just throw it right into the dirt, then it's not a penalty.
So following the intentional grounding call, Vikings now facing a 3rd and 22 from the New England 27. 4 wide receivers. Culpepper looks to take off, did not have a lane, and he slides at the 24-yard line.
This is a good play by Culpepper, a good play by the Pats defensive front, because Culpepper is a design draw. So Mike Tyson, the Vikings, basically saying, look, well, let's go for the field goal. They didn't try even for the conversion. They just went with a quarterback draw, and the Pats defenders up front bring him down.
So the NFL's all-time leading scorer kicking into the wind, Gary Anderson, and it's blocked. The 43-yard attempt was blocked. Richard Seymour blocked a field goal in Oakland last week, and it looked to be Seymour again.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
Richard Seymour blocks his kick with his left hand, but this kick is kicked too low. The trajectory is way too low. You see it right there. Good effort by Seymour. That's why you keep with your hands up. 51 yards by the Vikings on that drive, 0 points.
Antoine Smith on first down gains 2 out to the 35-yard line. Tom Brady tied with Aaron Brooks of the Saints. Most touchdown passes in the NFL this season with 21.
And he is wearing those gloves today. He didn't wear them in the first half of the Raiders game last week. Missed some passes, put them on, and today he's going with the gloves.
Patriots keep it on the ground. On the first 2 plays, Smith fumbled, but was he ruled down? That is the question. Was he ruled down by contact? Ronnie Bradford on the recovery for the Vikings. And the Patriots have turned it over. He was not down by contact.
Well, Antoine Smith gets hammered right there by Corey Chavis. This may be one that the Patriots may want to review.
We'll see if New England challenges.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Wendy's Bacon Swiss Cheeseburger and Chicken Bacon Swiss. It's better here. By Sprint, introducing PCS Vision. Clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. By Dr. Stain Defender, don't be the one without it. And by Lexus, introducing the V8-powered GX. A new kind of adventure begins.
Quincy Market in Boston. Patriots have challenged. And remember, if a player is ruled down by contact by the officials, that cannot be challenged, but it can be challenged if he is not ruled down.
Right, and you see there the knee comes down. The problem, Kenny, and I think Smith probably is down on this. I don't know if there's a conclusive, yeah, right there. You see that his right knee is down before that ball comes out. So I think that the Patriots are going to keep this ball.
And if Jerry Austin agrees, it will be a 3rd down and 2 from the 41.
A lot of people have talked about Antoine Smith and the Patriots running game and said, well, you know, they need to get their run game going more. Well, we looked at the numbers, and 10 games into this season, Antoine Smith has better numbers than he did last year, 10 games into the season.
When he finished with a career high 1,157 yards.
But I do think, and Howie Long pointed it out on the pregame show, and I think it's right, that the Patriots do need to get that run game going more in these last 6 weeks. I think Bill Belichick knows it as well, because he said, look, this season, it's a 6-game season right now at 5-5, and besides the Dolphins, everyone else in the division is 5-5. It's a 6-game season. And part of that is going to be playing here, and the weather, you know, it's nice today, but when they play their divisional opponents, the weather's going to be a little sloppy, and you're going to need to get Antoine Smith and the run game going.
Patriots will play all 3 division opponents at home in December.
After reviewing the play, the runner's elbow touches prior to the ball coming out. The ball stays with New England at the 40.5-yard line, 3rd down.
I think his elbow touched and his knee touched.
I agree.
And I know his left, you see his left elbow right there, his elbow's down, but his right knee's down too. So both were down. And the Vikings are no stranger to losing calls when it comes to turnovers. They're -16 in turnovers, which is the worst in the National Football League.
And a good job by Jerry Austin on the review. So the Patriots hang on to the football.
St. Louis 7-0 over Washington with Kurt Warner back at the helm.
Back in, replacing Mark Bulger. Empty backfield. Brady on the sneak. Picks up the 1st down. Tom Brady now 6 for 6 in 3rd and short rushing situations. Patriots with the 14th ranked offense, and a change at right tackle. Kenyatta Jones starting for Greg Randall, who is inactive. Randall had started the last 3. Brown and Patton the wideouts. Smith and Edwards in the backfield, and the tight end Christian Fourier. Brady out of the shotgun on 1st down. His first pass is caught by Smith in Vikings territory. Vikings with the 31st ranked defense, next to last. Only Kansas City has allowed more yards this season. Good front 4. Johnstone, Hovan out of Boston College, Robbins and Mixon. Beekert, leading tackler for the Vikings, the longtime Raider. Brian Williams, the rookie out of NC State, starting his 2nd game at left corner. Corey Chavis starting once again at strong safety. David Patton in motion on 1st down. Brady to Patton. Patton down the sidelines. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line, just shy of the marker, as we check in with James Brown.
Hey, Kenny and Tim, Kurt Warner dispelling a lot of talk right now. Opening possession for the Rams. He takes him down the field, 5 of 5 for 51 yards. Hooking up with Troy Edwards. They are the #1 team in the league with points scored in their opening possession with 45. Back to Kenny and Tim.
Thanks, JP. Hey, tell Jimmy Johnson, you know, we definitely agree with taking the young quarterback and not letting him lose his job to injury. Hey, that's what Bill Belichick did here last year with Tom Brady. When Bledsoe came back from his injury, they were hot with Brady. They stayed with him, and the rest is history.
Brady on 2nd and 2, looking for David Patton. Eric Kelly, the right corner, on the coverage.
Well, even though Brady doesn't connect, on that one right there, it was a pretty well thrown ball, and we've seen him throw with great accuracy today. And you know, we saw him talk to Howie Long in the pregame show, and he said, really, the glove, it's nonsense. It doesn't matter. You know, I'll wear it and not wear it just depending on how I feel. You know, players are always superstitious, and Brady's no exception. And if he feels good with it, if he plays well, he keeps it. If he doesn't, he gets rid of it.
Complete on 3rd down and 2 to Troy Brown, who picks up the first down, a gain of 10. And Tom Brady told us yesterday, Tim, he said, I've been playing football for 25 years without gloves. I won a Super Bowl without gloves. Of course, he was playing indoors.
And now, you know, today it's a little windy out, not too cold, but it helps his grip on the ball. Of course, you saw Terry Bradshaw on the pregame showing you how to throw a ball and how important that grip is when you spin your hand and you spin that ball downward.
And he did practice with the gloves all week long.
It was a lot colder during the week than it is today.
Brady underneath to Patton. Gain of 4, setting up 2nd and 6.
And what they're doing right now, and with these last 2 pass plays, is they're trying to soften up the secondary. They're throwing underneath these quick slant patterns. The first one to Brown for the first down, and this one to Patton. And what that's going to do is that's going to force the underneath coverage, the linebackers and the safeties, to start to sneak up to take those away, and then that's going to open it up on the 3rd level.
Empty backfield, 2nd and 6. Brady complete. Kevin Falk inside the 15 to the 13, picks up 8 yards and another Patriots first down.
You know, right now we're seeing just the diversity of this Patriots offense. I said it right at the beginning of this game. You know, the difference in the Patriots this year, yeah, they're still 5-5, what they were last year after 10 games, but their offense is more potent. They're scoring more, and they're getting more out of their passing game. And you see Kevin Falk's numbers, fantastic, 6 total touchdowns.
Up the middle, the fullback Mark Edwards down to the Minnesota 5.
And again, diversity is what we're seeing from this Patriots offense. And when it's working at its best, they're spreading the ball around. Brady's spreading the ball to different receivers. They're running the ball with Smith. Now they're running it with Edwards, the fullback.
And Brady 5 for 6, 41 yards. 2nd down and 3. Here's Smith. Looks to find a hole, but could not. Loses 2 yards. Lorenzo Bromell in on the tackle for the Vikings.
Yeah, that was a well-read play by the Vikings linebackers, and Greg Biekert was right at the center of it. And he is known for reading offenses. I got to talk to him on the field right before the game, and I said, this is a pretty complex offense, isn't it? He said, yeah, I had to spend more time watching film, but ultimately they like about the same 4 pass plays over and over again.
Off the play fake, Brady looking, end zone, lobs it in to the tight end, Christian Fourier for the touchdown. '22nd touchdown pass of the year by Brady. 5 of the 22 have gone to Fourier.
And Brady continuing to spread the ball around, Kenny. He used all his receivers. He used all of his runners. An impressive drive by the Patriots.
Brady connecting on 6 of 7 pass attempts. Vinatieri adds the extra point. Patriots, following the replay challenge, kept the football and take the lead. Twelfth play, 67-yard drive. Brady 6 of 7. And the Patriots had scored only 1 first-quarter touchdown in their previous 6 games.
Well, the Patriots just chipped away on this one, and finally Brady does a great job here of improvising. He's under pressure by Hovan. You see he's on the run, he's on the move, and Fourier stays with it. Watch him here. He is not the primary target. Right there, he's out of it. Now he gets back into it, and Brady finds him and delivers a nice pass. of those completions on that drive, Kenny, the longest pass was for 12 yards. So Brady moving the ball around and chipping away at the Vikings defense.
Mo Williams on the return out to the 22-yard line. Mike Vrabel with the special teams tackle for the Patriots. Culpepper and the Vikings go back to work. Back in Foxborough, 7-0 lead for the Patriots. 9-yard touchdown pass from Tom Brady to tight end Christian Fourier. After the Patriots benefited from the replay challenge, Antoine Smith ruled down by contact before he lost the football. Vikings back to work from their own 23, and the handoff to number 23, Michael Bennett, and he gains just one. Anthony Pleasant, first Patriot, in on the tackle.
On that one, the Patriots brought the safety up to build an 8-man front to stop Michael Bennett. And they're not going to be able to do that all game long, because if they give the Vikings a steady look of 8 men on the front, then they're not going to be able to roll a safety over the top of Randy Moss. And we know that their game plan for Moss, the way that Victor Green beat Moss when he was with the Jets, and the way Bill Belichick beat Moss a couple seasons ago, was pressing him at the line of scrimmage.
Culpepper on 2nd and 9, complete second catch for the fullback Chamberlain, about a yard shy of the marker, as we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Kenny and Tim, Carolina has already committed 2 turnovers. Here's the first. Rodney Peete, their best quarterback, tossing a pick to Keon Carpenter. Carpenter takes it 41 yards, helping the Falcons to build a 7-0 lead. Kenny and Tim, I just couldn't resist that one. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, JB. The Panthers, remember, they started the season 3-0, not one since. 3rd and short for the Vikings. And Mo Williams picks up the first down. Mo Williams has done a tremendous job in short yardage situations for the Vikings this season. He scored 10 touchdowns.
And not a bad push here by David Dixon. Big number 71. We talked about his size, but the great thing about him is he can move well also. You see how far he gets off the line of scrimmage and drives the Patriots back. In fact, his good feet is what enabled him to go from a rugby player in New Zealand to a football player here in America at Rick's Junior College.
Culpepper looking for Moss. Victor Green and Lawyer Malloy on the coverage.
And this is exactly how the Patriots wanted to defeat Randy Moss. I think Moss, in all fairness, Kenny, lost that ball in the sun. But you could see that there's always a man over the top of Randy Moss. Right? Here's Moss right here in the slot. And you see how Malloy is over the top and Green is right there. They're always going to have 2 people on him. Victor Green, a little hello.
Now 2nd and 10, low snap, inside handoff to Bennett. But Roman Pfeiffer was right there for the Patriots, along with Anthony Pleasant. Patriots call timeout with just over a minute remaining in the first quarter here in Foxborough. 3rd and long coming up. 3rd and 9 for the Vikings when we come back. You do. Following the timeout, Patriots leading the Vikings 7-0.
Friend of yours, Kenny?
Well, you have all the tickets for the game today.
I know, I've got family. Hey, Patriots, by the way, called that timeout so that if the Vikings don't convert, they'll have to punt into what's a pretty stiff wind out there.
It's a 3rd down and 9. Vikings have to get to the 44 for a first down. Culpepper in trouble, dumps it off. Incomplete. Mo Williams the target.
Well, it looks as if the Vikings will not score in the first quarter, and they wanted to get off to a quick start. Last week, when they beat Green Bay, they had 14 points in the first quarter, 158 yards, and you could see there their passing game to Moss was was spectacular, 4 for 67. But this week, nothing, almost.
Prior to the snap, false start, 58, 5 yards, still 4th down.
That's Nick Rogers, the rookie out of Georgia Tech. Patriots with the 7-0 lead. Last week, Vikings came out with the no huddle against Green Bay, and they scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives.
Yeah, of course, you can't expect to run a no huddle when you're away from home because typically the noise hinders it. But that first punt, which was called back because of the penalty, just dropped like a stone because of that wind.
End over end off the foot of Kyle Richardson, taken out the 44-yard line by Troy Brown. Only a 26-yard punt into the wind. So good field position for the Patriots. Coming up next in the second part of our doubleheader, Brett Favre leads the first-place Packers against Warren Sapp and the first-place Buccaneers in a showdown between 2 old rivals. Some of you will see the Giants and the Texans. A full day of NFL action continues next on Fox.
What a fantastic matchup. And of course, if you saw the pregame, you saw Brett Favre and talking with Terry Bradshaw, and saying he has no plans at all to retire. And what a great matchup. Him against Warren Sapp.
Favre 14-5 lifetime against the Buccaneers from the 44. Brady complete. David Patton into Vikings territory to the Minnesota 37.
Well, the Vikings last week unraveled Brett Favre because they got to him. Now, you can't get to Brady when the pass is this quick. It's a timing pass, and it's just a 2-step, and he zips that ball out there. But right now, the Vikings have got to get to Brady. They have to disrupt him. The offense and the timing is working perfect to the underneath pass. And then what that's going to do is Brady's going to go deep sooner or later.
Kevin Falk. Close to another Patriots first down. He gained 9 as time winds down in this first quarter. Tom Brady 7 of 8. And the touchdown pass to Christian Fourier. Patriots with a 7-0 lead.
And right now, everything is working for the Patriots offense.
Patriots leading the Vikings 7-0 as we get set for the second quarter. Kenny Albert with Tim Green, a balanced offense in the first quarter for New England.
And I know Tom Brady's not going to like this, but the gloves seem to be working. I mean, he's been spectacular, and he's spreading the ball around. 5 different receivers have caught the ball. 4 different runners have run the ball. Everything is working for the Patriots. Vikings have got to get pressure on Brady to disrupt his rhythm.
Antoine Smith on 2nd and 2 as we check in once again with JB.
Hey, Kenny, your partner Tim said that Mike Vick will be doing this season. Take a look at Mike Vick. Look at the quick feet, creating room and time for himself. Hooks up with Ward Dunn. 31-yard pass play to pay dirt. Vick 7 of 8, 123 yards and a touchdown. That in the first quarter. 14-0 Falcons. Kenny and Tim.
All right, JB. So a good start for the Falcons. Fullback Mark Edwards picks up the first down on 3rd and short. Tim, the Patriots third down offense now 4 for 4.
Yeah, and that was something that they wanted to work on. And I think as we looked at Michael Vick, and you think, well, what makes him so special? Young quarterback, his great mobility. And, of course, Tom Brady doesn't have that. But the thing that makes Brady special are the great decisions that he makes for such a young quarterback. He reads the defense extremely well, and that's what he's done today. He's just picked apart this Vikings defense.
Brady under pressure, forced to throw it away. Only a second incomplete pass.
And even though it's an incomplete pass, this is a smart play by Tom Brady. And again, just shows his precociousness, how he's beyond his years in the decisions that he makes. He sees pressure, and you see everyone is covered downfield. He's outside the pocket, and he just whips it away.
Now 2nd and 10 from the Vikings 25. Falk, the lone back. 4 receivers set. Here comes the blitz, and Brady gets rid of it quickly to rookie Deion Branch. And Branch spins all the way down to the 5-yard line.
The key to this wide receiver screen is the blocking. And look at the blocking that Branch gets from his fellow receivers. There's great blocking downfield, and that enables Deion Branch to go to work on this Vikings defense. Vikings cornerbacks are going to have to get off those blocks by the receivers if they're going to stop this play. This screen to the wide receiver has worked consistently for the Patriots so far today.
Branch, the leading receiver among rookies in the NFL. Smith up the middle, down to the 1. Corey Chavis made the tackle, setting up 2nd and goal for the Patriots from the 1-yard line as they look to add to their lead.
You see how well designed that play was? I mean, they made that play look like a pass, and it was all in the mechanics of Tom Brady. He raised up as if he were going to throw a quick pass. They're just coming off that quick wide receiver screen, and then he turns around and hands off to Antoine Smith. The defense was already soft.
Brady to the end zone, touchdown. It's Fourier again.
Vikings defense right now is like a fighter on his heels, and he's been hit with everything, and he's dizzy, and he's reeling, and he's just trying to stay up. Brady has been exceptional, and they've hit him with everything they've got.
Patriots had a linebacker, Mike Vrabel, lined up as a tight end. And the starting tight end, Christian Fourier, 2 catches today, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad ratio for Fourier. 14-0, New England.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite. Life is best told in a place called Millertown. By Circuit City, we're with you. By GMC, we are professional grade. And by Duracell, trusted everywhere.
Paul Revere riding into town. Christian Fourier easing into the end zone for the 2nd time. Culmination of an 8-play, 56-yard drive. Short kickoff into the wind. Williams from the 11. Williams out across the 35-yard line. 25-yard return. Good start for the 5-5 Pats.
Brady makes the throw, Fourier makes the catch, but Charlie Weiss's scheme by taking the tight end and sneaking him over here in a play-action look turns him from a blocker to a receiver, and there's no one there to cover him. That's just great X's and O's and a scheme by Patriots offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss.
Play blown dead. Vikings trailing 14-0. We're going to start from their own 36.
Ball start, 85 offense, 5 yards. It's still 1st down.
Take another look here at Fourier, and as I said, if you read him as a defender, you think he's a pulling blocker, and so there's no one there. There's no linebacker, there's no safety thinking that's my man if this run play turns into a pass play.
Vikings first 2 possessions, a blocked field goal and a punt. Force back 5 yards following the penalty on Dwayne Bates. Play action. Culpepper with loads of time, and then he throws it out of bounds. Bates, the intended receiver.
Well, the Patriots defense is doing 2 things right now. They're containing the Vikings running game, and they're shutting down Randy Moss. Here's how they're doing it. Watch Ty Law. This is the press on Randy Moss. They're getting on him. He's got his hands on him. He's bumping him. See, he doesn't have to worry about him getting behind him because, boink, there's the safety. Lawyer Malloy waiting to take away the deep pass.
Moss only 1 catch so far in his only previous game against New England 2 years ago. He was held to just 2 receptions. On 2nd and 15, more flags.
Ball start, 87 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That's the 4th Vikings penalty, Tim. They're the most penalized team in the league, averaging 9 penalties per game.
And if turnovers haven't killed Mike Tice's team, then penalties have.
Second penalty of this drive. They started at their own 36. They're now back at the 26.
And the Vikings wanted to come into this game and run the ball and run power plays against their lighter defensive front. They're already out of their game plan. They got to throw. They're 14 points down.
Now second down and 20. Culpepper again with time. Pump fakes. Now throws. Looking for Moss. And that one carried with the wind.
Well, Moss again, he's being pressed at the line of scrimmage, and then Victor Green is over the top, and Culpepper needs to make this throw to the outside. He throws it to the inside. That's just an errant pass by Dante Culpepper because Moss had the depth, and you can see there he thinks he's wide open. That's 4 consecutive incomplete, and I said earlier, Culpepper runs hot and cold. He started out hot, and now he's cooled down considerably.
Now third down and 20. Culpepper lost the football, and he leads the league in fumbles. Let's see if the Patriots recover this one.
That is amazing. Dante Culpepper, that will be his 14th fumble and the 7th one he's lost.
Leads the league in both categories.
That's just carelessness. He takes off with the ball in one hand, and it just comes right out of his hand. And this is what the whole season has looked like for Dante Culpepper. He tries to make things happen. He's pulling the ball down, trying to use his legs and run, but he's not protecting it.
So the Vikings commit their league-leading 30th turnover. They are now minus 17 in turnover ratio. 30 turnovers, most of the NFL, 27 fumbles, 14 lost, minus 17.
I would say that more than anything, more than the penalties, is why the Vikings are 3-7.
Brady underneath, and the first-round draft pick Daniel Graham works his way down to the 18-yard line and has a first down gain of 17 yards.
And that's the 6th receiver that Tom Brady has found. So diversity is the key word today for the Patriots offense. Diversity and accuracy by Tom Brady.
Brady 9 of 11. 2 touchdown passes. Patriots leading 14-0.
Brady hasn't been hit yet.
Penalty markers as Smith hurdles down to the 14-yard line. And he took a beating last week out in Oakland.
Offside, 91 defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Well, this is a timing offense. And the only way to disrupt the timing offense is to get the quarterback off his mark. So get him so his feet aren't set, so he can't make those timing throws, and to knock him around. The one time we did see Brady have to scramble, he scrambled and threw a touchdown pass to Fourier in the end zone.
Mark Edwards, the fullback, and he's met by Lorenzo Bromell. Short gain on the play.
Now with a 14-point lead and the passing game working so efficiently, the Patriots are going to be able to get that run game going that people have talked about, and that they certainly are going to need down the stretch in the cold weather games that they're going to have inevitably here.
The pitch to Smith. And Smith down to the 6-yard line, picks up yet another Patriots first down before he was brought down by Greg Biekert.
And it's only natural because right now the Vikings defensive backs and linebackers and even the linemen are thinking, how are we going to stop this passing game? that's come at us with 6 different receivers, and when we cover the wide receiver, he throws to the tight end. When we cover the tight end, he throws to the runner. When we cover the underneath, he throws over the top. So they're thinking pass and defend the pass, because that's what's got them 14 points behind.
88 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
They've been well balanced. 11 runs, 12 passes for the Patriots, and 9 different players have either a carry or a reception.
Right, and the Vikings defenders, they're defending the run on their heels.
Following the Patriots penalty, 1st and goal from the 10. The pitch to Smith, looks to cut it back inside, and gains 2 yards down to the Vikings 8.
Kenny, we've said it all along. Brady spreading the ball around today, and here's what he's done. You see the great accuracy? He's finding his wide receivers underneath on the slant patterns. He's finding things on the sideline, the Fourier, his tight end, the quick screen to the outside, and then Fourier on that trick play for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Now 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Smith down to the 5. Andre Crockett along with Fred Robbins on the tackle. It will be 3rd and goal for the Patriots from the 5-yard line. Vikings already behind 14-0. And Tim, in their last 3 games on the road, the Vikings have fallen behind 14-0, 20-0, and 24-0.
And that takes you completely out of your game plan. You see Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss there. And when you're down that far, then the stress on the quarterback and the star wide receiver goes up, because they know they need to complete some long balls to get back in the game.
3rd and goal. Brady to the end zone. Touchdown. His 3rd touchdown pass today. This one to Troy Brown.
Oh. Tom Brady right now looks unstoppable. And he's wearing those gloves.
Yes, he is. As he did in the 2nd half in Oakland on Sunday night. Only the 2nd touchdown reception for Brown, who is also wearing gloves. And Brady's 24th touchdown pass. Patriots are perfect today. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Vinatieri adds his 3rd extra point. All New England. They lead Minnesota now 21-0.
Back in New England, they lead 21-0. No indication of a quarterback switch by the Vikings. Todd Bowman, the backup quarterback, still ensconced in his parka and hat. Dante Culpepper ready to come back out and give it another try. Culpepper only 3 of 8 right now, Kenny. He started out 2 of 3, and he missed a long pass to Randy Moss that could have given the Vikings a touchdown.
Here's Mo Williams. I wish I were ensconced in a parka and a hat. 21-0. Patriots with the lead. Patriots 5-5 after 10 games last season. All they did, Tim, win the rest of their regular season games, won 2 playoff games, and then the upset victory over the Rams in the Super Bowl.
How about this? The Jets up on top of Buffalo. So this is very close.
Culpepper's pass was tipped at the line by Willie McGinnis. And the AFC, Tim, 13 teams have between 5 and 7 victories. 13 of the 16 teams. 7 teams have 5 wins.
I'll tell you, the Patriots, if they play offensively the way they are today, they're going to be tough to beat.
On 2nd and 10, Vikings keep it on the ground as Teddy Bruschi wraps up Michael Bennett.
And again, their defense, the Patriots defense is dominating in the run game. They're shutting down the Vikings run. The one time the Vikings got close, Richard Seymour blocked a field goal.
Vikings going to the no huddle. They used the no huddle offense early in last week's win over Green Bay. Culpepper steps away from the pressure and complete to Randy Moss. His second catch of the day, a first down in Patriots territory, a gain of 19.
Well, two things happen on this. Randy Moss stayed with his game. Watch Moss. There's the press right there by Ty Law. Law's got him covered. Moss never stops, and he gets himself open. And then to be able to make that throw, Culpepper has to have protection from his offensive line and have the time to make that pass.
The no-huddle work for the Vikings last week. Pass caught by Dwayne Bates, another first down. Down to the Patriots 31, gain of 18 yards.
And you see this Patriots defense loosening up a little bit. That's what you can do when you've got a 21-point lead.
And the Vikings, Tim, going back to what worked for them last week. As you said, easier to run the no-huddle at home.
Well, right now, the crowd not very loud here, though.
On first down, the delayed handoff to Bennett. Gains 2 before he's stopped by Lawyer Malloy.
Patriots came with the blitz on that play, thinking that the Vikings were going to continue to pass. And I think it's always a sign of good tackling when a safety can come up and play a blitz. You see Lawyer Malloy maybe shaken up, but they come up to play a blitz, so they're thinking pass rush, and then to readjust and make the tackle in a run play.
Patriots already without their starting free safety to Bucky Jones. Now Malloy shaken up. Strong safety Lawyer Malloy heading to the sidelines, replaced by Antoine Harris, as the Vikings face 2nd and 8 from the Patriots 29. Vikings moving the ball very efficiently this drive using the no-huddle offense. Culpepper on 2nd and 8 takes off. Culpepper down to the 10, picks up another Vikings first down, a gain of 19 yards.
That was an important play for Dante Culpepper to realize that he's still going to do what it is that he does best, which is pull the ball down if it's not down there and make something happen with its legs. So we saw the last time he did that, he pulled the ball down and he fumbled it. But he didn't hesitate when he saw the open lane to take it and make a first down run.
3 wide receivers. The handoff to Bennett. And he's bottled up.
Looked like he fumbled it. Looked like Bennett lost the ball.
He did, and the Patriots have recovered.
Take a look at it. Just a quick draw play here. And that ball stripped out by Roman Pfeiffer, I think. Yep, there's Pfeiffer right there. Jumps in, strips the ball out.
And recovered by Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel recovers, and it's the second turnover for the Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings had put together an impressive drive going with the no-huddle. And then Bennett fumbles for the 4th time this year. It's his 3rd lost fumble. And for the Vikings, their league-leading 31st turnover. So the Patriots go back to work, and Brady's pass tipped out the line.
I think that's one of the things the Vikings defense is going to have to do. Their defensive linemen are going to have to refocus their pass rush and get their hands up quicker, because Brady's just doing these 2-step and he's just rifling it out there on the slant plays and on the wide receiver screens. So these guys are going to have to stop thinking about getting upfield and sacking him and just getting their hands up and batting the ball down.
On 2nd and 10, the pitch to Smith. And Smith taken down at the 13-yard line by Kenny Mixon after a gain of 3.
And now the Patriots are in a situation that they really don't want to be in. They're backed up to their own goal line. They're in a known passing situation, and Belichick told us yesterday, Kenny, that strip sacks with their back to their own end zone has been their undoing. And of course, it was their undoing last week in the 2nd quarter against the Raiders.
Four wide receivers set for the Patriots. 3rd down and 7. Free play. Another flag. Ryan Williams made contact with David Patton. So 2 flags.
Kenny, last week the Vikings defensive front unraveled Brett Favre mentally. He was off his game.
Offside, defense, 26. That penalty is declined. Interference, 29 defense. Automatic first down.
This week, quarterback Tom Brady has mentally unraveled the Vikings front. Watch Hovan, Mixon, these guys, they jump on the blitz. So they're going for the strip sack. So there's the mental error there. And then Brian Williams tangles up. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I thought he turned and he made the play on the ball and got tangled up.
Here's Edwards. No gain. 27-yard gain on the penalty, however. Patriots had 3rd and 7 back at their own 13. 6 first-half penalties.
And you said earlier, you see 9.1 a game, and they've already got 6. And they've been extremely costly penalties, too. It's not just been throwaways.
6 penalties, 2 turnovers, including 1 in the red zone, 2 fumbles. Brady back on 2nd and 10. Gets rid of it. It's complete. Out to the 48-yard line. Kevin Falk stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker.
As we see the Patriots continuing to have everything work for them offensively, think about defensively too. They're playing the run better than they normally do against the #1 running team in the National Football League in the Vikings. They've contained that. And then Belichick was worried about their red zone defense where they've struggled. And the one time the Vikings get into the red zone, the Patriots defense comes up with a turnover.
Patriots 5 for 5 today, Tim, on 3rd down. Make it 5 for 6. As Brady was looking for Troy Brown, Nick Rogers got a piece of it.
And that was one of those opportunities right there for an interception that Corey Chavis told us yesterday. You know, when you throw the ball as much as the Patriots do, you're going to have a chance for an interception. The ball is going to bounce in the air and float in the air a little bit from time to time, as it did on that last play. Vikings don't get the interception.
Ken Walter punting for the first time. And a fair catch back at the 24-yard line by Bates.
Well, Kenny, this game is not spectacular and doesn't remind you of being a kid and seeing a Western, but what's coming up next reminds me of those Westerns I used to watch as a kid. Get kind of pumped up for.
Always a great battle.
2 stars, Brett Favre and Warren Sapp, going at each other again right after this game.
No longer divisional rivals. Culpepper taken down back at the 23-yard line by the combination of Teddy Bruschi and Richard Seymour. Loss of 2 on the play. You know, you talk about the Packers, and they were beaten by these Vikings last week, 31-21. Earlier this season, Green Bay handled the Patriots, defeating New England 28-10. So the Patriots knew they could not take the Vikings lightly, because you look at that common opponent as Moss brings it out to the 32 and fumble. The 3rd Vikings turnover as Moss coughed it up and Seymour recovered. Roman Pfeiffer told the play is over, but the Vikings commit turnover number 3 today, number 32 on the season.
Well, Moss makes a nice run after the catch, but Pfeiffer forces his 2nd fumble of the game. We saw him strip Michael Bennett of the ball when the Vikings were down in the red zone. And he strips Randy Moss here again.
6 penalties. Now 3 turnovers. Vikings have turned the ball over on their last 3 possessions. Timeout called by the Vikings. Just over 2 minutes remaining, first half. The Atlanta Falcons, who will travel up to Minneapolis next week. Falcons unbeaten in their last 6, leading Carolina 28-0. Patriots ahead here 21-0 as the clock winds down to the 2-minute warning. Tom Brady, 3 first-half touchdown passes. Minnesota Vikings, 3 first-half turnovers. Back in Foxborough, Kenny Albert with Tim Green. Minnesota Vikings, losers of 15 consecutive games on the road, trailing this one 21-0. Patriots scored on their first 3 possessions. 3 touchdown passes for Tom Brady. Vikings had a field goal blocked on their opening drive and have fumbled, turning the ball over on their last 3 possessions. 2 minutes to go. First half, empty backfield. 2nd and 10 from the 31. More flags.
Well, that time Brady got his own guy.
63 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That's right guard Joe Andruzzi, who was questionable with a knee injury. He's come out of the last 2 games.
Well, Brady wanted to use that hard count, and we've seen him. He's gotten the Vikings defense. He wanted to keep particularly Chris Hovan out of a rhythm, because Hovan's got a great get off, and last week Hovan was in Brett Favre's face all game long.
On 2nd and 15, more flags. May have gotten him this time.
Well, he used the hard count. I don't know if he got his own lineman this time.
Snap, false start, 82 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
This time it's the tight end Daniel Graham. 2 consecutive New England penalties.
Certainly not insignificant penalties, Kenny, because they take the Patriots from field goal range to out of field goal range.
Empty backfield now from the 41 on 2nd and 20. Brady to Troy Brown. Brown down to the 33-yard line, a gain of 8. Kenny Mixon made the stop.
It was great talking with Troy Brown yesterday, wasn't it? Looks like he may be end up in the broadcast booth.
Thinking about his post-playing days. Says he considered coaching, but too many long hours.
That's right. I think we've got it a lot easier. And,
no question.
Highly intelligent guy, and certainly knows how to work. Knows the game inside and out.
Brady looked right, throws left to Kevin Falk. And Falk is stuffed at the 31 by Lance Johnstone. Vikings called timeout, stop the clock with 1:14 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Still 21-0 Patriots. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. That's coming up on the Visa halftime report. Well, the Patriots on 4th down will go for it.
It'd be a 48-yard field goal and into the wind. That's out of even Vinatieri's range. It's a pretty stiff wind out there.
Patriots have to get to the 21 for a first down. Brady in trouble, and he is taken down. Johnstone and then Hovan finished him off. And Hovan, who was fined for taunting Brett Favre last week, had some words for Brady.
Well, Brady drew his own offensive line offsides 2 times in a row, and believe Hovan knew that this time the snap was going to be in a rhythm. Watch how quickly he gets out of his stance. He's out of his stance before the other defensive lineman. He moves with the offensive lineman, so you can tell that he's guessing on the snap count, and that's how he gets to the quarterback.
Hovan, the former Boston College Eagle. Vikings now start from their own 39 with 2 timeouts remaining and just over 1 minute. Culpepper complete to Kelly Campbell, the speedster out of Georgia Tech. Into Patriots territory, a gain of 16.
I think not only in this 2-minute drill, but in the second half, that's what the Vikings are going to have to do. We've seen the press coverage and the safety rolled over the top of Moss. The other Vikings receivers are going to have to get open and make plays.
From the New England 45, Culpepper has to think about protecting the football. Well, takes it out of bounds at the 30. He's fumbled earlier. 3 Viking fumbles in this first half. Culpepper gains 15.
But I like Culpepper again. We saw him scramble and then fumble. But then we've seen 2 scrambles since. Both have resulted in first down. So he did not let the fumble that he had, which is his 14th fumble on the season, he didn't let it affect him. He's still playing the game that makes him a viable quarterback.
So now the Vikings in field goal territory with the wind. From the Patriots 30. 1st and 10. Culpepper with time. And it's caught by Moss, out of bounds at the 22. He's a halftime report coming up with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Howie spent some time with Tom Brady earlier this week.
And then Howie took some real hits on the pregame show from Jimmy Kimmel.
But he handled it well.
He took it extremely well. Exactly how you would expect a guy with the humility that Howie Long has and the big shoulders that Howie Long has to take the insults that were hurled his way.
Took it very, very well. 2nd down and 3. Penalty marker in the secondary.
Holding, 54 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
That's Teddy Bruschi, who had the coverage on Jim Kleinsaucer. Now 29 seconds remaining. And Tim Culpepper, after the 5 consecutive incompletions, has completed 5 in a row.
We talked about it earlier. He gets hot and then he can get cold, but he can get hot again, and he is hot right now.
Making 6 consecutive completions. Kelly Campbell, his 2nd catch this drive. Knocked out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
And this is good patience by Culpepper, good protection by his offensive line. And he finds Kelly Campbell in that crossing route. Again, you want to throw the ball to Randy Moss. He is still a spectacular player. Even when he's double covered, he can make big things happen. But if he's not open, and your other receivers are, which Campbell was on that play, you got to see him and you got to go to him.
Campbell activated from the practice squad prior to last week's game. 1st and goal from the 6. Culpepper to the end zone, touchdown, Dwayne Bates. Another impressive drive by the Vikings. This time they don't turn it over, and Culpepper hits Bates for his 3rd touchdown of the season.
And again, the focus is so much on Randy Moss that another receiver gets wide open. Dante Culpepper has the option on this play, I believe, to run. And when the linebackers come up to play the run, he throws the pass.
Gary Anderson adds the extra point. So the Vikings cut the Patriots lead to 14 with 19 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Dante Culpepper, you have to commend him for his composure, Kenny. I mean, they were down 3 touchdowns and they had 3 turnovers. One of them was his, but he looks, you know, unflappable. He's completed 7 of his last 7 passes, the last one for that touchdown, and we saw him scramble for a key first down on that drive as well.
He's picked up 42 yards on the ground.
And I think the other thing that the Vikings did was they got Culpepper to throw to the other receivers besides Randy Moss. The focus of the Patriots secondary was on Moss to double cover him, and when they put 3 wides out and went to the no huddle, the hurry up, Culpepper was able to find some single coverage on Bates, or almost no coverage on Bates, and also Kelly Campbell.
So 2 consecutive drives into the red zone On the last one, Vikings turned it over. And this time they score their first touchdown of the game.
Well, Kevin Falk returned one for a touchdown last week in Oakland. So this half certainly not over.
Falk will lead the way for Deion Branch, a rookie second-round draft pick out of Louisville.